How's it going, metalheads? Welcome to what is going to be probably my most important video of the year. It is my top 20 albums of 2025. These are my favorite albums of the year. We're going to be counting them down from number 20 all the way to my favorite. So yeah, it's going to be a wild ride, and let's see how we do. Let me know in the comments if there's any that you guys like that weren't on my list. But yeah, we're going to get started with number 20. It is Flesh Morning by Reburied. This is the second album of death metal from the Seattle band. I just got into them with this album. I didn't know them beforehand, but it's really cool. Kind of sounds a little bit like, what's that, Death? Gruesome. It kind of sounds like Gruesome a little bit to me. So yeah, really cool, and I hope to get on CD sometime soon, just because it's really good death metal. And I was super excited to find that album this year, because they're in the sea of albums that came out this year. There's so many good releases. It kind of stood out for me. So yeah, that's number 20 is Flesh Morning by Reburied. Number 19 is a debut album. It's Spiral Crypts by Disembodiment. This is the debut album from this Canadian band. They're pretty new. They put out an EP in 2021 called Mutated Chaos that I really liked. So yeah, I'm super happy that they put out an album this year. It's absolutely putrid. From the song titles to like the sounds that they use and the samples to just everything about it. It's just that's the only way I can describe it, is putrid. But it's super cool, grimy death metal from Canada. Canada does really well in the death metal scene. I feel like they have a lot of good bands for that. So yeah, number 19 is Spiral Crypts by Disembodiment. Number 18 is 3 by Body Box. That's just the number 3 is what they called the album. Body Box is super cool, even though it's kind of campy, slam-ish death metal. I still really like it. I saw them this year with Suffocation. Yeah, that was a really cool show. Yeah, it was just really brutal, slamming death metal that I super enjoyed, super liked, whatever you want to say. I'm not very good at English today, but anyway, yeah, number 18 is 3 by Body Box. Oh yeah, and I hope to get all these on CD at some point. Number 17 is Mind Trap by Inhuman Condition. This is the third death metal album from the supergroup that features members of Deicide, Obituary, and Overkill. Yeah, the frontman is the drummer of Overkill. His name is Jeremy Kling. He's a super cool guy. But yeah, I really liked their first album. I don't remember what it was called, of course, because my mind doesn't work every time I film these videos. But yeah, I really liked their first album, Inhuman Condition. They're kind of like a Massacre spin-off band. That's what they started as. A bunch of the ex-Massacre members wrote it. But yeah, I really like this newer album, and I think it continues what they've been doing with their last two. So yeah, I hope to see more cool stuff from them in the future. And they're also coming on so they just finished up their so their upcoming tour is the Pest Coast tour. Oh yeah, it was Beast Coast. They just finished up their Beast Coast East Coast tour. Now they're coming to the West Coast. This is the Pest Coast tour, so I'm hoping to see them in January. It's going to be a super cool show. They're playing with Trash Panda again, and also Wretched. So yeah, it's going to be a cool show. But yeah, number 17 is Mind Trap by Inhuman Condition. Number 16 is God of Angels Trust by Volbeat. This is the 9th album full of groovy riffs from this Danish rock band. If you don't know Volbeat, they're kind of mainstays in like the kind of the groovy, rocky scene. But yeah, I really like Volbeat. I got into them a little while back because my friend told me about them, and so I heard the new album, and it kind of just sounds like their other ones. And if you like that kind of sound, then it's great. Yeah, they just kept doing what they were doing, the crunchy riffs, and whatever his name is, Michael somebody, I forget. Of course, my brain forgets everything I know about music when I do these videos, but yeah, his vocals are great still. And yeah, I really like his voice. It fits the music they do very well. So yeah, number 16, sorry, we're number 16 is God of Angels Trust by Volbeat. Number 15 is another debut album. It's Confinement of Flesh by Malformed. This is a Finnish band. They just put out their debut album called Confinement of Flesh. It's super cool. I really dig it. It's just classic, down to basics death metal that I think a lot of death metal fans will enjoy. It kind of sounds like the classic bands. So yeah, I really dug it. That's number 15 was Confinement of Flesh by Malformed. Number 14 is Unholy by Pyrexia. This is the 8th album of crushing brutality from this New York death metal institution. Pyrexia are legends in the death metal scene. They've been around since 1990, and this album is no different. It is awesome. This is actually my first album that I got into Pyrexia with. I didn't really listen to them before. I knew of them, but I didn't really listen to them beforehand. but I was pleasantly surprised. This is a really crushing album, as I said. Yeah, it's slower and more chuggy than some other death metal that you'll find, which I really dig. I like my chugs. So yeah, number 14 is Unholy by Pyrexia. Number 13 is another debut album. There's a lot of debuts on this list. The new bands that came out this year are really cool. But yeah, number 13 is Merciless Suffering by Dying Remains. This is another Canadian death metal band. They just put out their first full length this year. I actually went to see them when they came on tour. Yeah, if you like down to basics, chuggy death metal, this album is for you. Complete with the nasty samples. They're just an awesome band. They put on a great live show and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope to see more cool stuff from them in the future. Number 13 is Merciless Suffering by Dying Remains. Number 12 is probably going to be on a lot of people's end-of-year lists. It is the 14th album of thrashy goodness from these Bay Area thrash metal gods. It is Parabellum by Testament. This is one of my favorite Testament albums to date since I became a metalhead, since I started listening to metal, and since I've been alive, because they've been around way longer than I've been alive. But I like it a lot more. I think they branched out a lot more on the sound, especially with songs like Infanticide AI, with kind of the black metal-ish drums and stuff like that. It kind of really shines through, and their new drummer fits them really well. But it's still just down to basics thrash metal at some parts, which you can tell going back to their roots and stuff like that. So I really dug it. And I think a lot of other people did too. It got very rave reviews when it came out, and so I'm sure it'll be on a lot of people's end-of-year lists. So yeah, number 12 is Parabellum by Testament. Number 11 is the third crushing album from this Ohio death metal band. It's Actuality by Inoculation. I just got an Inoculation with this album, but they're super cool. It's just really crushing death metal. It kind of reminds me of the Pyrexia album a little bit, but in their own way. The vocals kind of do more changing in pitch and stuff like that than the Pyrexia album. Yeah, I learned that this year that they did a tour, Inoculation did, with three of my favorite bands, death metal bands at least. They did a tour with Sanguisugabog, Frozen Soul, and Vomiforth. It was called the Frozen Hole Tour 2021. And I would have loved to see that show, but that's just an interesting fact I learned about them this year. But they're a super cool band, and I hope they do more cool stuff in the future. So number 11 is Actuality by Inoculation. Number 10 is the 9th full-length album from this Birmingham death metal institution. It's called Ravage of Empires by Benediction. Is another one that I think will place on a lot of people's end-of-year lists, just because a lot of bands have been returning to their former sound that they abandoned for newer stuff in recent years. But yeah, this one's more just down to basics death metal. Benediction's been around a long time, and I think they know what they're doing by now. Transcend the Rubicon is one of my favorite death metal albums. And this one really lived up to my expectations for more Benediction, and I really enjoyed it. The riffs on this one are great. Engines of War is a great song. So yeah, number 10 is Ravage of Empires by Benediction. Number 9 is a bit different. I don't really know. I'm sure this one will be on a lot of end-of-year lists because it's really different. I don't really know if I can call this one metal. I'm not sure what to call them. They're an English band. This is their fourth studio album. It's called Edge of the Abyss by Calva Luis. Yeah, like I said, I don't really know what to call this. There's elements of metal. There's also elements of rock and other stuff. But I think it's a super cool mix, and I was really excited when I listened to it for the first time. And I kept coming back and liking more and more stuff on the record. So maybe I'll go listen to their other stuff, but I think this is kind of their breakout album. A lot of people were talking about it when it came out, so I think it'll be on a lot of end-of-year lists. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this band does next, because there's only to go up from here. I mean, they're defying the boundary genres as we know it. Boundaries of genres, there we go, as we know it. So we'll see what they do from here. But yeah, number 9 is Edge of the Abyss by Calva Luis. Number 8 is the 13th album of black and death metal goodness from the Polish warlords Hate. This is Bellum Regis. Symphonic black and death metal. Super cool stuff. I don't know. It's just really good. I had never heard of Hate till now, actually, with this album release. But I listened to the whole thing, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was thoroughly surprised by how good it was and how I had never found them before. They are coming on tour with Belphegor and Incantation and Narcotic Wasteland next year, so I will definitely be going to see them. Yeah, it's just a super cool symphonic album. There's a lot of symphonic elements. Of course, there's the black metal elements, but it's also just death metal. We all love death metal. So, number 8 is Bellum Regis by Hate. Number 7 is a debut album from the South Carolina newcomers in metalcore. My Gnawing Pains Will Never Rest. It's by Your Spirit Dies. It's their first album. I listened to their couple EPs beforehand, and I was super stoked. This came out on MNRK Heavy, which I'm really familiar with. So yeah, I was super stoked. it's interesting. They use a lot of dissonance and stuff in their metalcore, and I don't feel like that's kind of a a standard in metalcore. So I really dug it. But yeah, number 7 is My Gnawing Pains Will Never Rest by Your Spirit Dies. Number 6 is the 12th album from Norwegian metal gods, Blood Red Throne. This is Siltskin, released just a few days ago. I love Blood Red Throne. I think they're one of the most slept-on bands in death metal, even though they are like the flagship death metal band for Norway. But yeah, this one's no different. It's just classic Blood Red Throne sound, chunky riffs, great vocals, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. There's not much else to say about that one other than it's a great album, and Blood Red Throne is one of my favorite death metal bands. And I hope they get more attention, because I don't feel like they get a whole lot of attention in the international scene, which I would like to see more of for them. But yeah, number 6 is Siltskin by Blood Red Throne. Number 5 is another international band that many people have heard of probably. This album is called Murderous Revelations by Diabolizer. This is the second album from these guys from Istanbul. They're super cool. This album is really brutal, really crushing. I heard it and I was thoroughly surprised by how interesting it was and how well produced it was, because a lot of other countries don't have as good of producing studios and stuff like that. It's not to say that the music isn't good, but I just feel like I haven't heard a lot of stuff that was as polished and great as this coming out of Istanbul, at least. So yeah, number 5 is Murderous Revelations by Diabolizer. Number 4 is the 7th album from Scottish metalcore mainstays, Bleed From Within. This is Zenith. It was released pretty early this year, and it immediately made my list. I had never heard of Bleed From Within before this, but I was thoroughly impressed, and I will continue to listen to them. They are going on their first ever headlining North American tour next year, and I will definitely be seeing them, because this album is awesome. It's got all the breakdowns and stuff that you want in a good metalcore album, and I really dug it. So yeah, number 4 is Zenith by Bleed From Within. Number 3 is another debut. We got 2 more of these, including this one. Yeah, it's from these deathcore legends, soon to be from Canada. A Visage of a Mangled Body by Killing of a Sacred Deer. Killing of a Sacred Deer is awesome. It's a bunch of guys from bands like World of Pleasure, and Serration. They have an EP out that I thoroughly enjoyed, so I was super stoked when they put it in an album. Yeah, it's just crushing deathcore. It's the only deathcore album to make this list, obviously, so it's got to be good, because I'm picking up my deathcore. It's just awesome. I love these guys. I hope they do a lot more stuff in the future, because I'd love to see that. They're one of my favorite bands in the scene at the moment. But yeah, number 3 is A Visage of a Mangled Body by Killing of a Sacred Deer. Number 2 is another supergroup, I'd say. It features members of Gravesend, Woe, Unrest, and Scarcity. This is Death Never Sleeps by Glorious Depravity. It's the second album from them. They are from New York, and I had never heard of them before this, but I listened to their debut album from 2020, and it's also really good, so go check that out as well. It's called Ageless Violence, but this one, it's on a whole nother level. The song Slaughter the Gerontocrats just really put it over the edge for me. It's awesome. Just crushing, just straight up death metal, old school death metal, I guess you could say. But yeah, I love this album, and I hope to see more from this band in the future. Although this probably will be a few years between releases again, just because they do have all those other projects going on. But yeah, number 2 is Death Never Sleeps by Glorious Depravity. We have made it to the number 1 album of 2025. And for this one, it was so good, I already have it on CD. My number 1 album of 2025 is End of Eden by Primal Scourge. They are a Knoxville, Tennessee death metal duo. This is their first full-length album, and it's everything I wanted in an album. It's kind of more death doomy at parts. It's got the slow chugs. It's got the melodic riffs somewhere in there. Songs like Abyssal Imprisonment or Necromantic Plague, Cavalry of the Damned. It's an awesome album, and I suggest everyone to listen to it. I hope these guys can get their touring lineup together, because there's only 2 of them, and come out on tour with some people, because I'd love to see them. This album is just amazing. I can't say enough good stuff about it to actually put into words how good it is. I just love it. I first heard the song Cavalry of the Damned when it came out as a single. This was released by Iron Fortress Records, which is another record label that I'm really familiar with. But I heard it, and I was immediately stoked for the album to come out. I actually pre-ordered the CD. I never pre-ordered an album before until this one, but that's how good that song was, and I was not disappointed, let me tell you. I can't say enough about this album, like I said. I really need merch from these guys. I hope they put out merch sometime soon, because I'd love to support them. But yeah, number 1 album of all time, not all time, number 1 album of this year, well, I mean, it's up there for all time, is End of Eden by Primal Scourge. Yeah, this album's just awesome. everyone should go listen to it. And the cover art's super sick too. Don't know how well you can see that in the light, but it's like a burning sun, and in the mountains, and there's these zombie guys. Kind of look like trees there. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, End of Eden by Primal Scourge is my #1 album of the year. Let me know if there's any I missed or that you guys liked that I didn't touch on. But with that being said, hope you're all doing well. Have a nice day. See ya.